The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by Lloyd's Construction and Consulting, providing first-class construction services on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. All right, sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. We call it the 10-minute drill. And at the end of the drill, Beef, are we sending people to Molly Hatchet still?
Hell yes, we
Heck
are.
yeah, we are.
We're going to hook one lucky Guggen up at the end of the 10-minute drill with a pair of tickets to see Molly Hatchet Friday night at the Florida Theater. It's an 8 o'clock show. You can also pick up tickets from the Florida Theater box office online. But, yeah, one lucky Guggen will score a pair of tickets on us in just a few minutes.
All right, lots of things going on in the world of sports right now. It's a great time of the year. You got NBA playoffs, you got NHL playoffs, you got Major League Baseball. You always have the NFL. You got OTAs. You got quarterbacks not showing up, discontented, not happy with the way things are going. You got college baseball, conference tournaments going on. You got softball super regionals happening. So lots of good stuff going on in the world of sports right now as we take a look at all the things that are happening. But the NBA playoffs kind of stand out right now. And the Lakers righted the ship last night, and Dallas has got L.A. Clippers on the ropes, and the Clippers are, they're not worried, allegedly. They're not worried. They lost 2 at home, and they're not worried. No concern.
That's a lie.
No concern.
That's deflecting. Of course you're concerned. You just went down 0-2 at home.
Yeah.
And Luka's, on fire and confident. Look, there's just something about some teams. It doesn't matter what they do. They're not going to win. The Clippers just aren't going to win. I mean, they have tried. They have put together in the last 15 years some really good teams.
They have one of the richest owners in the sport, right?
Yeah, Ballmer. And look, that team that they put together when those guys were younger in their prime, imagine Chris Paul 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Imagine Blake Griffin in his prime.
Yeah.
DeAndre Jordan in his prime. Those were good teams, top seeds. They just can't win, man. It's strange because they went and got the ultimate closer. They had been close. They went and got Kawhi, and
they've been to the playoffs 9 of the last 10 years.
Yeah, they don't win. They don't come close to winning.
But for that franchise that never was terrible.
Yeah,
when Ballmer took over, at least got competitive.
For sure. They used to be the bottom franchise year after year after year.
I guess what I was trying to say with Kawhi is like Doc got all the blame. Doc got fired. Doc was the one.
Yeah.
But Kawhi goes by unscathed, and I think that's a little unfair.
I don't understand pointing this at Kawhi. He's been everything that they want him to be.
No, I think you got to win.
Well, LeBron didn't win any of those years in Cleveland. He's a great player. I mean, you can only work with what you got. And Paul George lets him down. He doesn't. But bottom line, what I was going to say, they were much better last year where they had Harold and Lou Williams. Why do they?
Yeah, they shouldn't have.
They were better. I mean, now they're just not that good. What? Have you watched a Clippers game yet?
No.
You haven't, right?
No.
I have again, I just say this for effect, not any other reason. Tell me 5 players that play for the Clippers, Dan.
Yeah, I know the 2.
You could have last year. Tell me their starters. Give me anyone that they have.
Shamet. Is that guy on that team?
Shamet is on the Brooklyn, isn't he?
You've got Blake Griffin.
Yeah, Shamet's on Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure.
Sam Cassell.
Or Shamet on – yeah, Shamet's a place for – he's not on the –
What about
there's one that you –
Reggie, what's his
Reggie Jackson. Yeah, there's one. There's a couple if you really think you can
Rondo.
Get. Rondo got traded there. That's another one.
I've ever heard
There's
him.
one more you can get because of his local ties. Doesn't play a ton, but he plays 15, 20 minutes.
The FSU guy.
Yeah, man.
Not Trey Man.
Terrence Man.
His brother, his older brother.
The Clipper starters are Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, one of the Morris brothers.
Okay.
Zubac, who's terrible, had 2 points and 6 rebounds last night.
Well, if he had an I, then he would be good.
Yeah.
He should change his
Correct.
last name to Zubic.
Yeah. Patrick Beverly, who's just a joke.
I should
that
know
guy's
him.
a joke. That guy is a joke, man. He thinks he's some great defender. He runs it at everyone, and he'll give you 4 points. He's just a complete joke, Patrick Beverly. So he's terrible. Mm-hmm. And then they're too old on the bench. Batum, Ibaka. These guys were great 8 years ago.
They also have, I'm looking at this just now, I'm looking at the roster. They have a guy he doesn't drive me crazy, but I sit there and wonder,
why does Cousins play?
Was he ever any good? And that is Patrick Patterson.
It's just okay. He's been a role player his whole career.
Yeah. He's been around, though. But wasn't he a first-round pick?
Yeah, the problem with guys like Patrick Patterson is that in college you can sit them down on the block and they can create points in the paint. And in the NBA, They're just too slow and not tall enough to do that. And so what do they become? And Patterson is a guy that had to become a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
No, he didn't even play. Cousins didn't even play. Kennard didn't even play. I mean, hey, Tyronn Lue, you're down in the series, right? I don't know. It was just strange. Mm-hmm. So could Shannon Sharp go to jail for what he did? The reaction's coming in now, rightly so. And in fact, the NFL is stepping in. Mm-hmm. They're holding Fox to the carpet. Falcons wide receivers interview with Shannon Sharp is causing concern for the network's relationship with the NFL. Sharp, who called Jones live on the air
So he really didn't set it up.
We haven't got that, but per this report, it's still not clear if Jones knew he was live on the air with Sharp. The Falcons had no advanced knowledge, no input into the interview. The franchise did not respond yesterday, however. Julio Jones' agency, Creative Artists, reached out to Fox about the situation, saying it has become a, quote, huge deal. Fox, as you know, probably know, just paid $2 billion to get the NFL package for another 11 years.
NFL ain't pulling nothing.
No, but as a partner,
but it's wrong. What he did was wrong. If there was no knowledge of him, if he didn't know he was live, and there's layers of wrong. It's 100% on Shannon Sharp, but it's not 100% on Shannon Sharp. There's a producer in the studio who let that happen. And he's got to go in the ear and say, listen, you cannot do this. I'm going to have to dump this. You cannot do this.
There is some thought that as an NFL TV partner, Fox could potentially limit access with other teams and the Falcons because of what happened here. According to the report, the Falcons could seek an on-air apology.
I don't have as much of a problem with you going through, and with all due respect, Jags PR, great job. And they get our guys when we ask them for them, and it's a different world now. Hopefully we're getting back to some sort of normalcy. But in the past, they were fine. They would set up the interviews if you wanted to get an interview with someone. So they prefer it when you go through them. But if you have a relationship with someone, you should be okay to call them. And
that's fine.
And then they can say, listen, call the Jags first. They'll make sure they know about it.
Well, what happened there, too, and I don't really care if the Falcons knew about it, except for what came out of the interview.
Right.
The team should be able to protect itself.
This is a good point.
I'm out of here.
Well, this is a good point for why the team wants to know if there's going to be an interview done.
Right. You can't. Right. Anyway, both California is a two-party consent state.
Oh, yeah?
As to what we talked about yesterday. So both Jones and Sharp would have to know prior to the call that it was going to be aired and recorded. Sharp could face a misdemeanor charge, although a complaint would have to be filed. The misdemeanor charge
that ain't happening.
Could call for $2,000 and or a year in jail. I think we should go on a campaign, put Shannon Sharp in jail where he belongs.
This is wrong.
This is wrong.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
So there you have it. Meanwhile, they search for the best trade partner. I would imagine the Falcons would most likely try and trade him to the AFC.
That's
right. You don't want to trade him to if you're Atlanta, by the way, this isn't signaling you give up. You have Matt Ryan, you have Ridley.
You got cap stuff too, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying that you're still going to be trying to win the NFC. You're still trying to compete. Why would you send him to Green Bay and make them better?
Tampa will probably take him.
Yeah, Tampa. I don't think could fit him. I think finally Tampa's.
Tampa will fit him
with AB and
we'll find a way.
No, and they wouldn't
fit him.
They wouldn't trade him to Tampa either. And to be honest with you. If there's enough bloodline legacy still in the Falcons organization, the last team in the world you would ever trade him to would be the Los Angeles Rams. And I know there are lots of fans right now that would be like raising an eyebrow. What does that even mean? The Rams are the hated team of Atlanta Falcons' essence. Mm-hmm. They are the number one hated team. They're not necessarily a rival now. They only play every so often. But when Atlanta came into the league and was, growing its teeth, they were continually getting them knocked out by the Los Angeles Rams. So I'm not trading them to the Rams for anything. I've seen them listed. Think about those teams. You say, well, they got good receivers. Well, that means Atlanta might get, Woods and a pick and return or whatever it might be.
30 of the 32 teams have been given approval by local authorities to plan for full crowds in the fall. So I'd like you to tell me, because you're well-read and very educated on this whole Corona, COVID kind of inner workings across our country and regions of the country. I'll let you tell me the two teams that have not been given the green light by local authorities to plan for full crowds yet.
I mean, it's got to be Chargers-Rams.
That's what you would think, but no, that's not the answer.
Okay. How about Green Bay?
Also a good guess, but also incorrect.
Okay, how about Seattle?
No, sir.
Okay, it surprises you?
Yeah, it makes none of this makes sense.
Washington?
No. I'll give you a clue. Maybe they're just so stoned right now they haven't figured out that they haven't gotten to it on their. Yeah. So that's one.
I did see that. And Indianapolis is the other one? Yeah, I did see it. Now that you, it's wrong.
Why?
Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't give up the ghost, buddy. Don't give up the ghost.
Yeah. So anyway,
there's a lot of people in this country need that pandemic to keep them warm throughout the year.
I
They
guess
do.
so.
They need the drama and the what comes along with it. The rest of us like to get on with our life at some point.
Like to get on with it, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's the 10-minute drill. Tell them what they won.
Oh, well, if you want to go see Molly Hatchet right now, all you got to do is something real simple.
Oh.
Be the first caller at 641-1010. Jump the gun. Jump the shark. Jump the boat. 641-1010. We'll come back into the 8 o'clock hour. Got the Murphy Power Hour at 9 o'clock. A lot of therapy coming up in the 9 o'clock session. A lot of therapy.